One of the most hotly disputed topics that keeps being brought up, and even people see it on my account and keep asking me, why do I do this one thing? It is clearly mount research. What is the correct way of doing mount research, especially since the initial launch of mount research back nearly 6 months ago, it feels like, to now in 2026 in the game, and we've had discussions with other players, and we've had our whale insight series where many of the whales also do this same strat that I'm going to be explaining in today's video. And don't worry if you're new to mounts, I will give you guys a quick rundown, a quick basic 101, so you're not feeling left out if you've never seen mounts before. So smash like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, check out that Eneba link down in the description down below. Any purchases you make on the website, if it's games, if it's Apex coins, Empire coins, you name it, it does support the channel. So thank you very much for everyone who does support the channel through my Eneba link. So let's go over first the basics of animal research, because as you guys know, if we go through the basics, it will make sense as we go through. So firstly, there is a left side, there's a right side, right? The left side is all to do than your breeding. So this is like the PvE side. The more breeding you do, the better this becomes. And the more points you become into this, the better your breeding is. So you can kind of see on examples, this is increasing your attribute chance when you breed. So every time I breed, I can increase those attributes for those horses. This is at 1 out of 5 here, 1 out of 10, and 1 out of 20, and they're all the same on the top side. The bottom is the opposite. This is increasing the chance to mutate. So if you want to really get some high value traits, this is the way to do it. You're going to get this 5 out of 5, this out of 10 out of 10, this out of 20 of 20, right? Easy as pie. The right side, as you guessed it, is your PvP. So for every point you put into any of these points here, when you equip a horse, you get those stats. So if we just look at the red one, archer attack 7.5%. If you look over here, it's 1.5 for the very first level. Why is this important to know, left and right? Well, it's important because every single time you go to your breeding center and every single time you find a horse that you want to get rid of, just like these 2 protective horses here, and you hit the breed button, every breed you do at the very bottom increases your insight points. It gives you some, as well as the horse that you've made. So we've got this new horse. It's got full strategy, full might, and it's got the healing armor trait. So if I go and hit this again, press protective, find that one what we've just got, which is protective healing armor, the one we've just been crafted, hit the breed on it, boom, what are we going to get? A purple horse. And we've got protective now, better strategy, way higher might now because we've breeded those 2 horses together. But more importantly, we've got lifesaver upgraded and those insight points. So this is kind of the whole gimmick of breeding, and this is where the balancing act comes in, because for every single time you breed, as you can see, I am earning these insight points to spend on the left or the right side. So what is the best way to do this? Well, I'm going to tell you straight away, do not ignore the blue side. Even though you're going to see me talk about the red side in a moment, do not ignore the blue side. And I'm never telling a player to ignore the blue side. So if you write one of those comments in the comment section, I'm probably going to ignore you because you're an idiot and you've not watched the fucking video, right? So firstly, what you want to do is get yours to the minimal requirements. And this is what I would consider the minimal requirements for the blue side. What this means is when you look across, there's 2 very key points on the blue that you need to take care of. And that is your bloodline stability as well as your insight advancement. Firstly, your bloodline stability, when you unlock this, as you can see, gives you access to adornments. So this is a way to increase your power of your horse by giving it an adornment, right? You need to unlock bloodline stability, which is this, in order to get your adornment. So if you've wondered why you can't get them, it's probably because you haven't got this. Once you've done this, you are going to want to get your bloodline stability and your insight advancement to 3 out of 5. Why you're going to do this is because you're going to get +3 insight point gain. And this is every single level you put into any of these, you'll get +1 extra insight points. And this is fucking huge because I don't think you realize at the start you're only getting like +2 for your actual insight gains, or maybe like +4 for your insight gains. And the fact that I'm getting now +6 is basically almost double to triple the amount of insight point gain that you're going to be retrieving into your account. The more insights you've got now, you can guess it, you can start spending these insight points where you need to on the right or the left side to get things done. Now, let's explain why myself and many others are opting into the red side push now after certain requirements or milestones on the blue side. It's pretty easy because when we go into our actual animal research center here, you got to remember each one of these top ones and bottom ones are increasing our breeding efficiency, meaning we might get better horses, get better attributes each time we breed. However, that doesn't mean we are guaranteed a good horse. So a good way of showcasing this is, again, if I just get any of these horses that we put together and breed them, there's no guarantee that it's going to be a good horse, right? We've just got a blue horse with an absolute dog shit trait. Let's be honest, no one cares about mounted hero passive skill strategy damage at the moment, because there's no heroes in the game that does passive skill strategy damage. There's just, I don't think there is. So you got siege and armor on the stats. Two absolute dog shit stats too. Absolute terrible. Just terrible, 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 right? But we got our +8 insight points. Why this is important is because, as you see, I'm never guaranteed good horses. And remember that, because that is the whole premise of an argument on working on the red side. And you only work on the red side once you've got your minimal completed, which is what I've done here, 1 out of 1 on everything and 3 out of 5 on the middle, as you see. Once you've done this minimal requirement, you push over to the right side. The reason's pretty simple, and we got this explained in one of my Whale Insights, right? You can check out the Whale Insights series if you want on my playlist. Just go on the channel, check out playlist, and you'll see 10 videos in their own playlist where I go with Cigar, we've got Kai first, we've got KT, we got, who else was on there? Not KT, we got one of the core chicks, not KT, but as you'll see, we had a bunch of different players. However, one of them, Pappy, the very first episode, explains why this is important. Because even though I just bred that blue bad horse, if I equip that horse, I am still guaranteed stats. And guaranteeing stats and guaranteeing power is much more desirable than trying to get better odds on the slot machine. Imagine you've got a slot machine here and you're trying to increase it from a 80% payout to an 85, to a 95, to a 99% payout, but it takes you a long ass time to do so, right? Compared to here, where you can literally be told, look, I'm going to win this bet, and if you lose, you will get a guaranteed $50. Guaranteed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I win, you know, or lose, doesn't matter. I'm going to give you $50, which is just kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Just having something no matter what the situation. And I actually agree with that. And I actually think this is one of the best things to be doing on people's accounts. Because you got to think now, I have now 7.5% extra attack, 7.5% extra defense, and 2.25% extra health, which might not sound like much, but when you start to add this up, it does, because this effect is when a hero is mounted, and that means because this is affected on a singular hero, you can have 3 heroes with these buffs. So that's already 4.5% with 2, 6.75% extra health with 3. You got to think now, we have nearly 22% extra attack, 22% extra defense compared to anyone who has just got blue. blue, blue, blue. And that is the whole premise of the animal research argument. That is the whole reason why you see players like myself, Pappy, and a lot of mid spenders and even larger spenders starting to go towards the right side instead of the blue side, because yes, it is nice to always try and get a better horse, right? It's always nice to try and get some attribute increases. But the thing is, and this is honestly the just, you know, the honesty cake on it all, you will find good horses. Like, you will. I have found plenty of decent horses in the game, even for matches I just don't care about, right? Like this, look at that. Lifesaver, Mythic with Renewal on there. Mythic Spirit Bond, Mythic Fierce, Mythic Peacemaker, right? We got another Mythic Lifesaver down here. Mythic Renewal, Mythic Peacemaker again. And then that's not even including stuff like Flanks Breaker, Spirit Bond again, Armyy Sunder, right? And none of the even horses we've got to breed down here that we've got, right? So you can see you can breed horses, and actually, even if you don't have the consistency, you can get lucky quite easily and quite often, even if it's not for the, you know, formation that you want, but you can get lucky and you can get some decent traits and decent horses to work with by just rolling the dice. And I would rather roll the dice and get an okay horse and equip it and get some absolute bonkers stats on my marches. And what's really cool about this as well, what we've got here is 5, 5, and 3. We can start to do, which I am going to be starting to do, the others. I can put 1 out of 10 here. I can put 1 here, which we're going to do. Boom and boom. Because these are my main other 2 marches that I use. I'm going to do the same thing for this one and this one. Same with this one and this one. And same with all the pike. Because you only need to get 1 out of 10 first to get through. So I can get 1 out of 10 here and start pushing more deeper and deeper if I want to get some extra stats. But you got to think, this is the reason why players are going down the red tree route. And it's simply because if you have a horse equipped, no matter what, bad or good, you are always, always, always guaranteed these stats. And the more stats that you have, obviously, the better trains and the better you're going to be performing in Age of Empires Mobile. And it's just one of those things. Like, it's up to you what you want to do. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to do what I'm telling you on this video. But if you want to try and keep up and not waste so many resources in areas that you don't need, then I would honestly take this video and start implementing it. And the first thing is get your minimal. If your blue tree already looks like this or better, meaning you've got 3 out of 5 here and any of these ones you've got more in, you can stop already and start working on this right side. Like, you can see I've been able to easily get 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 3 out of 10, and you just watch me do these 2 instantly 1 out of 10s, which I'll do all the rest. And that's not too shabby at all to achieve. And just to kind of nail that coffin in, if we mass breed our blues and just put anything legendary and below, anything is ready to go, boom, we're back up to nearly 300 in one go. And you can see I've got a bunch of horses here, including this Flanks Breaker, which we could put onto our, obviously, Marshall Pikeman, but we've got a bunch of horses that are just absolute dog shit. So we can go breed, and guess what? We can find the other one, breed, boom, and we just keep doing that. And just in a second, we've got Abundance Peacemaker, but I've got plus 10, which means, you guessed it, I've already got in my animal research 300 here. I could pop this one again. Look at that. I've got all of these ready, unlocked, done. Now I'm going to start working on these ones. And then I can finish these ones. That's how fast it is with just 3 out of 5. So imagine if you wanted to do anything, if you 5 out of 5 these 2, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't be mad. I would say, do you know what? That might be even smarter, just because you are gaining the maximum, and I mean the maximum insight point gain into your account. However, in order to do that, just remember, you're going to need to get, as you can see, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5. You're going to need to get 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. And it does cost a good chunk in order to get that done, just to get these guys 5 out of 5. But that's what you're willing to do. I'm not going to complain. I will actually give you a round of applause and a medal for actually going down that route. But this is the Animal Research Center. And this is technically the most up-to-date, I would say, strategy when it comes to your Animal Research Center. You work on your blue tree, you get it minimally done, then you work on the one tree like I did for your main troop type. So if you're a Lubu player, you should have 5 out of 10s here on your cavalry. If you're a pike player, obviously for your Cyrus, you're going to be here. If you're a swordsman player, because you're a Mia, you're going to be at the top side. And by doing this, like I said, you are going to be increasing your, honestly, formations effectiveness, how strong you are going to be out there in rallies, open fields, Battle of Dawns, Wonders, Desolate Desert, Starfall Vein, you name it, compared to players that are still trying to max out this blue side and not really get any actual benefits for doing so. So there you go. That is the Animal Research video. Hopefully I've explained it well enough. Hopefully I've gone through it multiple times so you guys really understand the reasoning why I think this is honestly the best way to min-max your account and not fall behind in power for your formations. So if you enjoyed it, smash like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Eneba link down in the section down below. Until the next one, guys, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.